What's up guys, it's Matt from TDM Style here and welcome back to the channel for something a little bit different this week. Since I uploaded my initial review and demo of Lockhart's Anti-Gravity last week, a number of you have commented and asked me to do kind of a secondary or even update video of just demoing the product on its own. So if you haven't watched the first review yet, I'll link it right up here, I think it's up here, in the card. And essentially, I had to use a couple of other products to kind of counteract a couple of the pitfalls of anti-gravity for me. But a number of you were curious of exactly how the product would work for me on its own with nothing else in my hair, so I'm happy to oblige. So here we are with that video for you right now. Now, before we get right into that demo footage, I just wanted to quickly say that I think we should start a trend this year and make this the summer of tank tops, because every year, without fail, I wear too many damn short sleeve shirts and I end up with this just awful farmer's tan. So this year, I'm saying let's get rid of that ugly farmer's tan, summer of tank tops. If you're with me, leave a comment down below. And with that being said, let's get right into the demo footage and see how Lockhart's anti-gravity works in my hair all by itself. Alright guys, so here we are with freshly washed hair. Obviously it's still damp, it's got absolutely nothing in it, so we're just gonna go straight in with a little bit of anti-gravity. So I'll grab, about a dime-sized amount for right now. Alright, so into damp hair without the aid of a smoothing agent, it's a little bit stickier than usual. It's not bad right now, it's still fine, it's going through pretty smoothly. Essentially I can just feel the grip a little bit more. I feel like I don't want to put in any more than that right now, because I think it'll be too sticky if I do, so we're just going to comb through it as they recommend to evenly distribute. Alright, time to blow dry. Whew, okay. So obviously I've got some volume in there now. It feels okay. It doesn't, there's no hold right now, as you can see. Once again, I think the volume and the texture is good. It doesn't feel super dry right now, but I did spend a bit of extra time with the hairdryer in an attempt to basically fix or deal with the frizziness and flyaways, and I don't know, I feel like I still have a shitload of flyaways. I don't know if you can see them well on camera, but we shall see. But anyway, so clearly the just pre-styling with it is not enough hold for me, so we are going to go in with a bit more. Okay. Alright, so into dry hair is definitely, obviously it's going to be stickier than into damp hair. And I've got like a big glob of it right there. It's not terrible. It's definitely not the most tuggy and pulley or tangly feeling product that I've put into dry hair, but it's also not great, to be honest. My ends are starting to feel a bit tangly, as you can see. So again, the volume is great and the texture looks good, but I feel like even with adding that extra, it's just not, it's not staying. And I am honestly a little bit scared to add another scoop, just because at this point my hair is beginning to feel pretty dry and on the sticky side, so I'm reluctant to add any more, but I feel like if I don't add any more, it's just not gonna stay there. I don't know, I'm gonna add the tiniest bit more, that much, that's all. Also, I have pink hands, yes, because of pink hair conditioner. Also, it doesn't really matter that much, but when you've got layers of this stuff on your hands, it feels pretty grippy there as well. Yeah, now it's definitely feeling uncomfortable. Again, not the worst, not the most sticky thing I've ever used, or not the most tangly either. I think Morris Motley was a lot more tangly and pulley than this. Oh, but every once in a while, just then, I get one spot where the ends just get like stuck together and my fingers just stick there. So that's gonna be it. I'm not putting in any more scoops than that. I mean, that was, you know, basically 3 scoops between pre-styling and post-styling. It's still like, it doesn't feel like it's gonna stay. It does feel very lightweight. I mean, it's like very lightweight. I mean, I think that's part of the reason that you're able to get so much volume, is because it really does not weigh the hair down in the slightest. But I don't know, I just feel like the hold is just not there for me. And I don't know if that's just related to Jesus, I'm looking at it in the monitor and the volume looks kind of stupid actually, like being that tall. That looks a little more manageable. I mean, it looks good, the style looks good, the texture looks good. It doesn't look super dry down here in these lights. I feel like these lights add quite a bit of shine to my hair, but it's a nice sunny day and I've got some errands to run, so I'm gonna go out and do a few things. Maybe I'll check in with you guys on the road or something after a while and see how it looks in natural daylight or something, and just see how it's holding up in general over the course of the day. And so we'll check in a few times and see how it does on its own. Alright guys, so here we are in the natural daylight, and I don't know if you can see it better here, but there definitely are some frizziness issues, but you know, it's only been about 20 minutes or so. Seems to be holding up okay so far, so I'll check back in, you know, in a few hours and we'll see how it is. So it's been about 3 hours and this is what's happening now. It basically, like, that section of hair keeps falling. So I can sweep it back over. I mean, as you can see, the volume is still there and the texture is still there. Apologies for my sweaty, shiny forehead. It's a little hot out today, but this back section here, I don't know why it keeps like falling down this way, no matter how much I push it back over. Like, it looks fine now, and then if I bend over to pick something up, it falls right back down. So that's where we are at this point. So I'll check back in at about the 8-hour mark, I guess, and we'll see how we are at that point. All right, guys, so it's been about 6.5 hours now, and as you can see, we are kind of falling down a little bit here. So the interesting thing is this. So if I do this and I put it back into where it is supposed to be, you can see the volume is still there, the texture is still there, the style still looks pretty good, but the hold just doesn't really stay. And for me, I found it's mostly this tricky spot back here for me, or this general, like this side of my head, it just falls that way for some reason. I'm not totally sure why, but it's just where it seems to have the most trouble holding up. So now, while I don't like you know, heavy duty super glue type products either, I need a little bit more hold than this, because I don't like to have to fix it so many times throughout the day, especially if it's like windy at all or anything. It just doesn't stay in place with this product on its own. Alright guys, so there you have it. That's how Lockhart's anti-gravity works in my hair with no other product. So for me, it just doesn't work on its own. I mean, that doesn't take away from its good qualities. I still think that the volume is great, the weightlessness is awesome, and the texture is good. But the two major pitfalls for me are just it's too dry of a matte finish and it looks frizzy and fly away for me. So I need either some kind of anti-frizz or smoothing serum in the pre-styling process, or maybe even like a hairspray at the end to combat those two issues. And I also need some other type of post-styling product just to lock the hold in more, because for me, it like evaporates. It's weird. But with all that being said, everybody has a different hair type, so anti-gravity may work better for you than it works for me. So if you're curious about it, definitely still give it a try and see how it works for you and your hair type. If you haven't yet clicked that subscribe button down there, please do hit it to keep up to date with all the content upcoming on this channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for coming by and watching, and we'll see you at the next one.